what is imperialism? What is white supremacy?
Imperialism is a system in which is a continuation of that legal, or let's call it a religious doctrine that became a legal doctrine of discovery. The legal doctrine of discovery has become our international law because it was then called law of nations. So imperialism is the continuous maintenance or manifestation of that religious doctrine or that legal doctrine of whites owning everything and controlling everything. And remember, part and parcel of why imperialism is being manifested by the Americans today is that America remains a colony. It's not white man's land, it's Indian.
Yes, it is a colony.
Yeah, it's a colony. So it is actually an illegal institution according to the decolonization laws of 1960. It is actually people who are still being colonized and dispossessed by British people. Germans are actually the biggest population in America.
Really?
And that's why America continues.
I assume it's Spanish.
It's actually German people. Okay. Germans are the biggest population in America. So the racism that is in America is driven by Nazism, or at least that ideology.
You know, when you think of the South African land issue and how we complain, and someone were to explain to you, America as a whole is the illegal land occupation, and the natives of there, they're not even a minority. They're almost non-existent. That's scary.
And this is why now, when I think it makes sense to you now that it becomes axiomatic for me to fight sanctions, because the country that has got sanctions on my country for taking back its land is a country that is refusing Native Americans their own land. Number one. Number two, they built their wealth off the industrialization of slavery, or what is called chattel slavery, which till today persists because they have not made restitution or reparations to the people that they occupied. Yet these very same Americans would then defeat the Germans for occupying the Jews for just 5 years, and within that period, they decided to give Jews land in Palestine to compensate them and to restore them into a position of dignity, just because they were massacred by the Nazis for just 5 years. So now imagine what that translates to when they have enslaved Black Americans. 15 million people till today are subjugated. They've been disempowered. They cannot buy property in certain places because of systematic racism. And then these people want to come to Africa and tell us about democracy, human rights, and yet they're the biggest violators. Still today, they kill women and children, murder women and children for oil.
Yeah.
Just between 9/11 and now, they've killed over 3 million Arabs for their oil and their resources, and they're actually stealing Iranian oil, Libyan oil, and Syrian oil to make America the biggest oil producer in the world. That's insanity. Such a nation, such a virus, does not have a place in a civilized world where we're supposed to be exchanging value for value. And they still want to maintain something called property rights based on what they've stolen.